I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves it. If you can't communicate, somebody says, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas. And that's relatively easy. I did it myself with the Dale Carnegie course. Some people wish I'd taken a shorter course now in terms of my talking later on. But it's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you. If I gave you a car, and it'd be the only car you get in the rest of your life, you take care of it like you can't believe. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You'd read the owner's manual. You'd keep a garage and do all these things. And you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with and to do the most with it. The most important thing, aside from the things I've talked about already, is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when obviously you can't pick your parents, they're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line, and who you admire, who you want to copy, and the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important one. You want to pick a spouse that's better than you are, and then he or she, and you hope they don't figure it out too fast. I've seen a lot of people that have gotten older, and I've never seen anybody that is 70 or pick an age who felt good about their children that felt bad about their life. In all my experience, I've seen plenty of people with lots of money where it hasn't worked out well in the family.
They didn't feel good about their children.
Or the children didn't feel good about them. I mean, but whichever way. I mean, but in other words, they failed at the most important teaching job they had in personal relationship. And sometimes it happens for extraneous reasons. But I really have never met anybody. I knew one fellow was extraordinarily rich. He put a lot of money in his kid's name. He didn't want them to have any control over it. Once a year, he would have dinner with them and try and get them to sign their income tax return in blank. Now, just imagine that, with, in this case, 4 kids, none of them, he wanted to have enough confidence in them or to have, it's just crazy. I mean, he would woo them during this dinner and they knew exactly what was going on, and once a year, and then he'd bribe them sort of to sign their income tax return in blank so he could file and they wouldn't know what they had. I mean, that when you have indulgence, I've seen just time after time when people have been successful. I've seen plenty of the other too, but successes at business, a failure, and I don't think they feel that good about life. The problem of trade is that the benefits are diffused and invisible. So you don't walk in and buy a pair of shoes or some underwear or anything, and it says you just saved 12% because this was purchased somebody. So 320 million people are buying things. The bananas come from Central. They're buying things cheaper than they would otherwise. But the harmful effects, taking somebody out of a job they've had for 25 years when it's too late to retrain them or anything, they're very specific and terrible. Now, what you want to figure out a way is to keep the societal benefits and take care of the people that really are they're the roadkill, basically, in this. And there will be roadkill. I mean, there's no sense kidding yourself. I mean, we started with a textile mill at Berkshire. Half our workers only spoke Portuguese. They worked in hot conditions, loud conditions, and they spent 20 or 25 years on looms. You got to have retraining and all that when that's feasible. But it isn't feasible when you only speak Portuguese and you're in New Bedford and you're 55 years old and you spent your whole life on a loom. You've got to make sure that person has an income that's commensurate. We can do it as a society, and we don't want to let the individual case prejudice against trade that benefits everybody, but we also don't want to say because everybody's benefited, to hell with this guy. But we're rich, we can afford that, and we should do it, and that's how we'll get a good trade policy. Our society will be far richer 10, 20, 30 years ago, and if you just take in aggregate, our children will live better. The real question is will it continue to leave lots of people behind? And a specialized market system, if somebody is, however you want to measure it, 10% below average, their opportunities in this world today have not improved at all, from 30 or 40 years ago. The classic situation is you take the Forbes 400 in 1982. Number one guy was Dan Ludwig. Your viewers have never heard of him. And he had $2 billion. Now that it'd be 30 or 40 times that. 30 or 40 times. And this, more highly specialized economy, year after year, different from that agrarian economy of 200 years ago, it's going to be more and more people at the very top winning big time. The average person, or slightly below average person in terms of particularly market talents, is not going to do very well unless we have policies to make sure that they participate in some way. And the guys at the top are going to keep doing better. Pardon me?
Policies from government.
It has to be government. Government is always, the market system is this traffic cop. It directs resources, it directs brains, and it does a great job of it. But if it also directs all the winnings, it will continually favor more people at the top. Government's always government came in with Social Security, and government, redirects the winnings, so it isn't totally the market system that delivers the winnings. But I don't want to kill the market system in terms of producing at all. We want more and more stuff, but there will be more and more people falling further relatively behind, and that's not a good result. We can afford it. We can do better. The market system just pays more and more. Just think, say you're a middleweight boxer. In the 30s you were limited to, you wouldn't even get on the undercard at Madison Square Garden, and it was limited. But then television comes along, and cable comes along, and pay-per-view, and tens and tens of millions of dollars. So at the top, it's terrific.